Yo, what's up, y'all? So, of course, y'all know I'm always going to drop great content for y'all, great knowledge. And right now, we're sitting here in Ontario, California. As you can see, it's an amazing day outside. And, you know, it's always different concepts that I always bring to the front of my mind. Like, yo, I got to make sure I get this on tape. That way I can give it out to the world. Because if you've been watching any of these videos, or if you know who I am from, you know, reading the certain books that I read and having a certain, philosophy on how life goes. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: I'm going to continue to give you great content. But now listen, a concept that I want to talk about today is the 40-40-40. So the 40-40-40 rule is basically a paradigm that most of, the United States is actually in. We got to realize 95% of, Americans are people who work, people who invest their money a certain way, who spend their money on a certain way. And I want to be able to take you out of that actual class and that system and that paradigm of thinking. So the 40-40-40 actual rule is going to bring more clarity to exactly what I'm talking about. So the first 40, all right, is you trading your hours for dollars. All right, you spend on average 40 hours per week working to build somebody else's goals and somebody else's dreams. But what are you spending 40 hours a week on? Are you spending 40 hours a week dedicated towards your goals and your ambitions? Or are you going out there punching a clock every single day? Now, some of us might be even spending 60 to 80 hours a week, but let's just keep it focused. The average American spend about 40 hours a week. So what I'm saying is this: if that 40 hours a week is dedicated towards somebody else's job or somebody else's goal, or you're trading your hours for dollars to do a certain type of work, you need to ask yourself, what are you spending 40 hours outside of that to work on? Are you working on a different plan? Are you working on a goal? Do you got a mission? Do you have kids? Of course, we know life gets in the way. Of course, we know we got to have a certain amount of hours dedicated towards family and ambitions. But are you dedicating 40 hours to a craft that you know can pay you? We got to realize this. Now, the second 40 is 40 years. Out of that first 40 hours a week, you're most on average are going to spend 40 years working in a job. Now, most of us, we're starting to break out of that, and we realize that that's not possible. There's no way I want to spend 40 years of my life working 40 hours out of my weeks for a job. And the crazy thing about this is that most of us are going to get replaced after we spend that 40 years working. No way. Think about if you was to take 2 to 3 hours out of your time and out of your day to work on a craft, something that can pay you. And it may not take 40 years. It may take 4 years. It may take 2 years. But you got to realize, where are you spending your time? Where your time goes, your energy goes. Where your energy goes, that's where your money flows. Realize this, all right? We cannot spend 40 hours a week for 40 years working to build somebody else's dream and somebody else's craft. All right, so the third 40 is basically talking about retirement. So you've already spent 40 hours a week. Now you're spending 40 years on a job to be able to pay back bills or live a certain way. And then you're taking 40% of whatever you just worked for to retire on, or whatever you currently make. Most of us retire, we don't have saving plans, all right? That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother thing about investing for the future. But realize most people who do work, that 95% of the Americans that work, they're going to retire and only be able to live off 40%. Come on, it's time for us to start waking up, man. It's time for us to realize that we have to build things in our purse. We have to build things of nature that's going to pay us in our spare time and our part-time. What are you using your part-time for? Are you using it to, trick it off, blow it away? Or are you really focused on the craft? Are you developing? Are you getting smarter? Are you getting stronger? What are you spending your time on? So let's realize this. Use the 40-40-40 rule to analyze your life and to figure out exactly where you want to go, all right? Create multiple streams of income. And when you do this, I guarantee you that your life is going to change. You're going to start looking at it in a different angle. So let's do it.